Everything's looking orange! Hello everyone! Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we're continuing Stardew Valley. Last time we finished up the last few things we could do in the season of summer. And now we're moved on to the third, and in my opinion, best season in the game, fall. This is going to be a very interesting session. We're going to be doing a lot of prep work for a lot of the stuff we're going to be doing in this season, because there's going to be a lot for us to do. Starting off, tomorrow's going to be cloudy with gusts of wind. Never really know when it means that it's going to be overcast, what exactly that affects. At least it's not raining. Let's talk sunflowers. When you harvest them, you'll not only get a nice flower, but you'll likely get some seeds as well. You can replant those seeds or sell them. I'm sold. Yep, that is some nice information about these sunflowers. Definitely a pretty good plant that can be grown in this time as well as in summer. I have been really looking forward to this one. We have a lot of prep work for the things we are going to do. Alright, first things first, let's go check in with the animals. They've got some nice products for us to harvest. Alright, you got plenty of feed. That's good. As for the chickens, got some nice eggs. Definitely thinking of adding a few more animals to the farm. They'll probably come a little later once we made some adjustments. Yeah, we can go ahead and put these in the thing. And yeah, I think we could use some more cheese. Alright, so before we really get started here, I want to quickly go over some of the things that I want to make sure we're going to need for this season. Yeah, we're definitely going to need that. And let's pick up some speed grow for the rare seed. Yeah, I think that's about everything I want. Let's grab a couple more sap so that we can make some fertilizer with that. And we can get to planting a couple things. Because in this season, we have a lot we can do. So most of the plants that we were able to grow in the summer have now wilted away. And we're going to have to get rid of all of the dead plants. You know, with our trusty scythe. Luckily, a few of the plants are still available here, namely the corn, which is one of the few plants that carries over into this season. But for other things like the hops and stuff, they are gone. So we're not going to be able to grow any more of those. But we do have a lot more options in what we are able to grow. Right before the end, I planted a couple seeds here for some of the plants that we could grow back in summer that could still be carried over into fall. So that gives us a nice little harvest of plants already. It's going to set up most of our new farm over in this section, as I'm going to be saving this area up here for a few things going forward. Alright, we're going to be clearing a little bit of this area so we can set up a few more of our seeds, as we have a lot we can do now. So definitely going forward, I'll want to upgrade the hoe, which will give us a nice tool to be able to clear up some dirt. Now we'll take our fertilizer, swing on down there, and we'll plant some pumpkins. We got these as one of the museum awards, and it is very handy that you get these right off the bat, because free pumpkins means we are going to be making some really good amounts of money going forward. So plant some free seeds there. So we got some of the mixed seeds we were able to acquire before the end of this season. And then we got two more to do. So for these ones, we will put you down here. Let's put down the speed grow for a rare seed. And then we'll put you there. So just as a refresher, the rare seed is a unique type of seed that can only be obtained from the traveling merchant on Fridays and Sundays. You're only able to grow them for the time being in the fall. But after a certain point in the game, we'll be able to find other ways we'll be able to obtain plants from them. But for the time being, this is the only way we'll be able to grow them is in this season. I put down the speed grow for that, so we'll be able to have the rare seed fully grown before the end of the season. Otherwise, it will take the entire time. Okay, Kitty, you're really in the way there. I really don't appreciate that. But yeah, that taken care of, we've made some pretty good prep work for the things we are going to be doing in this season, but that is not all of the seeds we're going to be planting here. I just want to make sure we have some cheese in the fridge, maybe? No, we do not. Okay, so we'll definitely want to move some in there. Which one of these can we part with for now? I guess we could take this periwinkle and convert that into sashimi. Alright, then we'll put in the cheese. That'll be useful for later. There we go. It's always nice to have a good supply of sashimi for later. Definitely going forward, one of the things I want to do is get my inventory and my storage a bit more organized based on some things that we are going to be doing in the future. But for the time being, we are good just to get these. Yeah, everything is pretty fine right now. But we will be working on our storage a bit more. Alright, all the animals are taken care of. So how about we head into town? So you can see here the visuals in this season are very distinct compared to what we've seen in spring and summer. I just really love the tone of this season, how everything is very orange and red and yellow and purple. Just the color scheme is so good, I really love it. Alright, we can see that Penny's birthday is coming up on the 2nd. Definitely want to remember that for later. Okay, Sebastian wants some seaweed. We can definitely do that. Never heard of seaweed on a calzone, but I guess we can help him out with that. Let's go check in with Pierre, as we got some more seeds that we can obtain from him. So this season definitely has quite a lot for us. Starting off, we can get pumpkin seeds, which are the main crop you're going to be growing this season. Definitely worth investing the money in these. Corn, which we could obtain back in summer. Let's grab a few eggplant seeds. Those would be good. Then we'll grab some bok choy. Those ones are very easy to grow. Only take 4 days. Then we'll grab some yams. Those will definitely be important. Cranberries are very pricey, but definitely want to invest in these. Wheat, we already have growing on the farm. Same with the sunflower seeds. And fairy seeds are definitely going to be important, especially for one of the things we have coming up. I'm actually going to buy about 5 of those. Amaranth is definitely going to be important for not only recipes, but maybe a quest going on in the future. And we also have grape starters. So back in the summer, grapes were one of the crops that could be obtained by foraging in the field. But in this season, you're actually able to grow grapes on the farm. It's kind of interesting how it's one of the few crops that actually works like that. How one season, they're an item that can be foraged in the field, but in another season, you're able to grow them on the farm. It's kind of weird how it has that distinction, but you know, it's alright. Alright, let's grab some more fertilizer. Might as well just grab all the sap and convert most of it into fertilizer for what we're going to be doing. Alright, that looks good. Alright, so let's get all these spare seeds ready. Definitely going forward, what I could recommend is setting up some sprinklers if you want to just avoid trying to get... what am I saying here? You can invest in some sprinklers if you just want to avoid using your watering can, but that's really no problem for me. I already got a lot of upgrades on my watering can, so I'll easily be able to water our crops with very little problem. Oops, forgot to put the fertilizer down on those. It's okay, just as long as they are not fully grown, we don't have to worry about the fertilizer. Alright, we are definitely going to need to grab the scythe again. That'll be very important. Down here, so we don't want the grass getting in the way of our crops. It's also a good opportunity just to clear up this area so that we don't have to worry about the trees getting in our way. Alright, so we'll set up our yams down here. Then we'll put our cranberries right there. So what I really like in this season is they give a lot of plants that are able to be grown in bulk. So we're able to get multiple harvests from a lot of the plants we're able to grow this season. Alright, so now we'll put down the amaranth. And last thing we need here are the grapes. Alright, how about we put them over here? Alright, so the grapes are going to be grown on a trail, so they're going to be... You can't walk over those. Just a hint for the future. Alright, let's clear up this tree here so we have this section of the farm visible. Definitely don't want you getting in the way of our progress. Yeah, I'll definitely try to clear up a bit more of this space in the future. Also because it'll be helpful for gathering some more resources. From the looks of our inventory right now, I believe we're still waiting on our pickaxe to be upgraded. So that should be ready by the next day. Right, we got some more mayonnaise. It's always good. Alright, now there's one more crop that we haven't planted yet, and that is the fairy seeds. These are quite the special case, as we are going to be growing them over here by the sprinkler and by the beehive. Now this is, as I've alluded to before, very important. You'll want to grow your flowers within a close proximity to any bee house that you have set up on the farm, as they will actually be able to affect the growth of the honey and affect their quality. So that will be a very good thing for us to be doing. Check in on our mushrooms. Not bad, we got a good harvest on these already. Definitely some good variety here. Alright, with all our crops taken care of, we have a job we need to do for Sebastian, so let's go see if we can take care of that. We'll grab that seaweed he asked for. We definitely have a good surplus of that. And let's grab some sashimi while we're here, since that is one of his favorite items. Just want to check our supplies here for... Okay, we don't have a specific thing I was hoping we'd have for Penny, but that's okay. Alright, so Sebastian tends to be up in the mountains, so let's go look for him this way. Also gives a good opportunity to look for some of the items that we can forage here in this season. And there's one of them already, hazelnuts. Yeah, that is a good one. Definitely want to hold on to those, as they will be important for a recipe going forward. That is also something we're going to need for the bundle, which will be very good. Okay, Sebastian is not in his room, so that's a good sign. He's not around here. Okay. There are few places where we can go and look for Sebastian. There's Robin and Demetrius. I'm hoping we're able to find him very soon. I mean, we're able to take care of this mission in like 2 days, so it's not really a lot of trouble, but just want to make sure we can get this done now. So where does Sebastian tend to hang out? Especially in this season. It's not over here. Might want to check the beach. Oh, Sebastian, where are you? I tend to see him over here from time to time. No? It's a shame I don't have every person's schedule completely memorized, so it's alright, we'll be able to take care of this mission, even if it's going to take a little while. At least we can harvest from our crab pots. Some nice items in there. So I remember when I was playing one of my older files in this game, I actually had a bit of confusion over some of the crab pots because so I selected my certain perk for the fishing skill so that I wouldn't have to use a bait whenever I set crab pots, and I totally forgot I had that setting. So I just found myself just unable to fill them with bait, not knowing that I had actually used that skill. It's a little awkward, but I managed to figure it out, and yeah. It's definitely an interesting skill, not one I highly recommend compared to some of the others you could get, but, you know, it can be helpful in its own right. It's actually funny because that was like the last, in that particular file that I was playing that had that skill was the first file I ever had in this game. So, you know, it's kind of a funny little thing that happened to us. Alright, definitely want to get back home. Sadly, we didn't see Sebastian anywhere. It's kind of sad. I'm thinking that he might have been up by the train tracks, actually. I think that's an area where he tends to hang out once the train tracks are open. So yeah, we'll definitely want to save the seaweed and the sashimi for later. Yeah, we'll check around that place next day. And we'll save the hazelnut so that we can put that in the community center. Let's take care of all these for now. Yeah, we can sell you. Just want to have a little extra money, especially for the plans that I have in this season. I made back a little bit of money. It's pretty good. Our apple tree wasn't able to grow last night. Ugh, that means we got some weeds. Definitely gotta take care of that. Ooh, we got a harvest on our ancient fruit. Alright, that is very disappointing. There was a weed growing there, I didn't know. It's okay, our tree should be growing pretty well after that. So if we want to store this ancient fruit for later when we have the preserve jars open again, so we'll be able to get some very good jam from that. Ooh, we got some maple syrup and some oak resin. So I definitely remember from one of my other files, the oak resin will be very useful for one of the things we have to make going forward. But that's not going to be until quite a while, as the recipe for that is going to take a while for us to get. Alright, that's syrup. Just want to check our thing here. Yeah, we haven't donated any maple syrup or oak resin by this point. So let's go ahead and donate that. So I know there is an achievement in this game for shipping a certain number of every item in the items shipped portion of the collection. So that could be something to look out for some point in the future. Hey chickies, how you doing? Alright, I know I usually go and talk about certain things after my... just when I have, like, nothing else to really talk about, but... moment I'm going to save some of the topics for a bit later when we're doing some more menial tasks in this day. As there has been a few things going on that I would like to discuss. Okay, can we actually face you in the right way? That's better. Gonna water you as well. I'm definitely glad that we have the well set up right now. Definitely makes watering the crops a lot more efficient now. Take care of these boars. Alright, so we got a hazelnut to put in the community center. Is there anything else we can see around here? Oh, there's another hazelnut. Oh, we got 2 of them thanks to our skill. That's good. Oh, this is happening now. Ah, hello there, Hayden. You showed up at the perfect time. Yeah, what's going on, guys? It's our new special orders board. Robin and I built it from scratch. Lewis, all you did was hold the nails. Ignore her. Now, let me explain. You see, with Artemu Farm back in business, the local economy's really been picking up. As a result, some local townsfolk have been asking me for a way to source local ingredients for their businesses or personal projects. So Robin and I came up with the idea of a new special orders board, where people can post bigger jobs than would make sense for the old billboard outside Pierre's. Yeah, for example, I plan on requesting some hardwood for a bed I want to make. I won't put you on the spot, but if you want to help me out, you can just accept the job from this board. Who knows, maybe if the bed turns out well, I'll start selling them in my shop. I look forward to helping. I thought so. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, Hayden. So, can we say that you're on board? Hey! Well, I'm sure you're busy, so we won't keep you away from your work any longer. As always, I appreciate your willingness to contribute. Take care, Hayden. Come on, Lewis. What's with the plank expression? I love you, Robin. So yeah, that is an interesting new development here in town. What am I going to give to Penny? I know what one of the gifts we're able to give her, but just give me a second. Okay, I have a good idea on what I could give to her. Penny definitely has a wide selection of things that we are able to give to her. So we can definitely go pick up one of those. Definitely among the things that she likes is a lot of cooked food. Like the roots platter we were able to make way sooner in our adventure. She also likes diamonds and emeralds, which sadly we don't have either of those. But we do have the roots platter. Sits right there. Good. So that'll make a good gift for her. She also likes melons, so if you have a surplus of melons from your time spent in the summer, then I could definitely recommend a few of those for her. I still need to find Sebastian. So yeah, I definitely say that summer is one of the best seasons for trying to build your relationship up with Penny. Also interesting to note is that she's one of the few villagers who actually likes poppies, as those tend to be one of the few items that everyone in town dislikes. She's one of the exceptions, as that's her favorite flower. Alright, there's Pam. Penny's not here right now. There's a good chance that she is with the kids somewhere. So definitely want to check in with Clint so we can get our pickaxe back. Hey, bud. There we go, the steel pickaxe. We're definitely going to see some action with this baby very soon. But for now, how about we go give our gifts? Yep, there she is. She's just tutoring the kids. So let's give her a birthday present. A birthday gift? That's very kind of you. I love it. I'm tutoring Vincent and Jazz today. They're a handful, but it's nice to make a difference in someone's life. Sure is, Penny. Sure is. Miss Penny says I have to read this book before I can go play. Well, reading is pretty fun. What? There's a lot of books here that we haven't read yet. How about we take care of that now? Journey of the Prairie King, the smash hit video game. Did you know anyone who beats Journey of the Prairie King is automatically entered into a drawing for a special prize? Did you know the developers stated that the protagonist is based on a real-life character, a true cowboy hero from a prairie island in the Gem Sea? Interesting. A study on diamond yields. After years of research in the mines, I believe I learned something about diamond frequency. My research involved only the stones that are scattered about the mines, the ones that are broken with a pickaxe. Mineral yields from other sources require more research. Diamonds seem to only form at mine level 50 or greater. At level 50, approximately 1 in 500 stones will be diamond rich. After level 50, the frequency of diamond formation seems to increase by about 0.00001/16 per level. Quite a rare gem. M. Jasper. So yeah, it gives you a little hint about where would be the best area in the mine to search for diamonds. Brewmaster's Guide. To brew. The rich smell of yeast wafting through a cedar loft. The floral overtones of freshly cut hops on a winter's eve. But I digress. You're probably more interested in the practical side of brewing. To brew, you'll need a keg. I'll leave it up to you to devise blueprints for a keg. Kegs can be used to make several kinds of products. If vegetables are placed inside, the keg will produce juice. Juice takes the least amount of time to brew. If wheat is placed in the keg, it will produce beer. Beer takes a while to brew, but it's quite profitable. Placing hops in a keg will produce the beloved pale ale. Place fruit in the keg to make wine. Wine takes the longest of all to make, but a wine made from the finest fruit is worth quite a bit. Be patient with your keg. You'll know it's finished when it's perfectly still. And only drink in moderation, or you'll surely regret it. So that gives us quite a few hints about something that we sadly aren't going to be able to do until a bit later on, but it'll be useful to remember for the future. Mysteries of the Dwarves. The Dwarves call themselves Smoluana, which translates to Sky People. An odd name for a group that lives deep underground, isn't it? Another mystery of the Dwarves is the advanced technology they supposedly possess. Evidence such as this has led me, despite the ridicule of my colleagues, to propose a new theory. I believe the Dwarves are the remnants of a once advanced civilization whose interplanetary vehicle crashed on this planet long ago. I would propose that this dwarvish spaceship bore down deep underground, and over time the dwarves became adapted to their new underground environment. My colleagues ask, why didn't they come above ground and live on the surface? Perhaps their old planet had a thicker atmosphere that protected them from stellar radiation, and they simply could not survive in our sunlight. That would explain why they only surface at night to take what they need from our houses. M. Jasper. So got some information about something in this area. Highlights on the Book of Yoba. Before time, there was only the endless golden light. The light called out to itself. Yoba. Yoba wanted more. Yoba swirled the golden light into a vortex. Yoba swirled and swirled until a hole formed in the eye of the vortex. From this hole sprung a seed. Yoba smoothed the golden light. Yoba smoothed, and the light became soil. Into this soil, Yoba planted the seed. The seed sprouted, and behold, a vine sprung skyward, twisting and probing, casting a writhing shadow into the golden void. After 11 days, the vine bore fruit. Yoba, with knowing wisdom, peeled the tough skin off the fruit, and saw that the world was inside. And so that is how the world came to be. Some nice little lore dump there. Marriage guide for farmers. Before you ask someone to marry you, you'll have to date them for a while first. Ask someone to date you with a bouquet from Pierre's. When you're ready to pop the big question, you'll need to give them a mermaid's pendant. Everyone knows what it means when you present them with one of those. It's rumored that on stormy days, the ghost of an old mariner appears in Stardew Valley, clutching just such a pendant. After the wedding ceremony, your partner will move in with you. Remember to treat your spouse well. They still like gifts even after marriage. Paid for by Pierre. So that gives us some information about marriage and some clues as to how we can initiate it. Definitely going to take a while. How am I going to reach that letter in the back? So it looks like we got Penny's first story event. Here, let me help you, Mr. Molnar. There you go. I could have done it myself, and I can certainly move around on my own. How feeble do you think I am? Hayden, you were watching us? I was. You did a kind thing there, Penny. Thank you. I just wish George wasn't so upset. I was only trying to help. No. I'm sorry, miss. I shouldn't have gotten so angry. It was actually very kind of you to help me out. That's okay, Mr. Molnar. I understand. Must be difficult to grow old. It's just a different part of life. You're right. We shouldn't ignore the reality of aging. I guess the sooner we come to terms with our mortality, the more time we can spend really living in the here and now. Well, it was interesting talking to you, Hayden. I should go. It's a nice little scene with these characters. You don't really see Penny and George interact outside of moments like that, so it's nice. Speaking of nice, how about we check out the notice board? This was something that was added in an update much later in this game, and yeah, this is an interesting thing here. So the notice board gives us various special tasks that we have to complete within a certain time frame. And if we're able to get these jobs done, there are special rewards we can get that we wouldn't be able to obtain otherwise. So whenever you check the notice board, it'll give you a choice between two different missions we can take, explaining who is giving the mission, as well as what the specific job entails. So we could take a job for Rismodius, where he wants to track down a rare and dangerous prismatic slime within the local caves. Bring me a jar of its prismatic jelly, and you'll be duly rewarded. And then we have a mission from Pierre. Hello there, for an upcoming promotion, I'm thinking of offering some high-quality vegetables at a slight premium. Know where a thrifty shopkeeper might find 25 gold star vegetables. Both of these could be some good missions to take. I think most of the focus in this stream session is mainly going to be spent working on the farm and fishing compared to going into the mine, so I don't really feel comfortable accepting Rismodius' quest right now. So, we'll take Pierre's mission. And, yep, we have this now in our quest log. So our objectives are to harvest gold quality vegetables, and then we place them in Pierre's shop once we have them all. It's quite an interesting mission, so we'll definitely want to be on the lookout for any gold quality crops we may find. So yeah, that notice board is definitely a very interesting thing. And so it was actually added in a later update to the game, definitely one of the more recent ones, and it is something I am very excited. I'm very happy that it was added to the game because it just adds so much, especially with trying to take these specific tasks within a certain time frame, and it's definitely interesting trying to focus your time into trying to complete these different activities. It's definitely fun to also do these jobs for the townspeople, where you have a lot of time just working to help them out, and the rewards for them are definitely worth it. There's a lot of good things we can get by doing these jobs. Oh, there you are, Sebastian. Here's the seafood. Seaweed you needed. Thanks for the help. It's just what I wanted. And just because I like you, take some sashimi. I really love this. How did you know? I mean, I check wikis, dude. Alright, with that taken care of, I want to head back to the farm right quick, because there's some corn stalks that I believe I have not watered yet on the farm. Just kind of the free ones. Ooh, I found a plum. So yeah, we can find wild plums out in the field here as one of the forage items. I definitely recommend keeping some of these in storage, as we will be needing them for recipes in the near future. And there's some other stuff we'd be able to do with our plums as well. Let's grab these two and sell them. Alright, that needs to be taken to the community center. And once we take care of this, I'm thinking we could do some fishing, which also gives us a nice opportunity to talk about some stuff that's been going on lately. So I'm definitely very interested in trying to get this thing taken care of with the community center. Definitely want to focus some time into it. Well, not the community center, I mean the notice board that was put in town. I don't know, part of me is still getting used to the notice board because it's definitely something that I wasn't used to in like the early days. Is where we didn't have this specific update that gave us the notice board. But I'm very happy with the inclusion. It is definitely a very nice thing that adds a lot of depth into this world. That it already has a lot of depth to it, but just adding some more quests into the game gives a lot of things we can focus on. I very much appreciate. Alright, so where I want to go is about over here. So I believe about this area where you can see the water is deeper. It's probably the best spot that we can fish in the river. Pretty much anywhere where the water is deep, that is where you will want to fish at. And I want to fish here in the fresh water to see if we can get a certain thing to appear. So most of the fish that we need to complete another set of bundles in the community center are ones that can only be caught in the fall. Or ones that can be caught in fall, as well as some other ones, but we weren't able to get previously. Ooh, so that is definitely a nice find. So in the season of fall, we're now able to catch salmon in the river. Salmon are definitely good, since they are only available at this time, and they're actually used in a few recipes going forward. So we'll definitely want to catch a few of these and put them in storage. And hopefully we're able to find another thing. Let's grab this treasure here. You never know what that treasure could be. It could be something very good. Alright, so we got some bait there. And while we're catching some fish, what is some stuff that we can talk about? So, last night I was playing Mario Party Superstars with a few of my friends over in Discord, and that was a very fun game. I actually ended up winning the game, and it was a load of fun. Especially with the things that we were able to do in that game. Like, one of the things that was one of the deciding factors of the game is I managed to duel one of my friends, and I wagered 50 coins against them. In order to try to keep them out of doing a certain thing, which they were able to do anyway, but me wagering 50 coins really paid off, because the 50 coins that I took from him allowed me to secure what is known as the coin star, which definitely helped me secure the win in that game. So yeah, that was very awesome that I was able to pull that off. It was such a big risk too, but it definitely paid off for us. There we go. That is the thing that I was searching for. And that iron ore is definitely a nice added bonus we can use to make some things. So that is the tiger trout. As a new fish that we're able to obtain here in the fall. But more importantly, it is something that we need for the community center. So we'll go take care of that. And then we'll head to the farm, and we can show off what we're able to do with our new steel pickaxe. Alright, so you will go in the river fish section. There's only one more thing we need for this, and luckily, we'll be able to get that very soon. And we'll be able to finish up that one very soon as well. Alright. Ooh, we're definitely going to need this. So we can also find blackberries. These are kind of a For the most part, they're just a regular item that can be foraged in the wild. But there is another way we're able to obtain blackberries, and we'll definitely want to watch the TV going forward. And by doing that, we now have some fall seeds. So allow us to grow all those crops that we had obtained through the foraging bundle. Alright, it's very good. We'll definitely store those for later when we need them. Alright, let's get over to the farm and take care of all this stuff we have. Definitely want to store a salmon for later. Yeah, we can put the blackberry in there. Put the fall seeds away for now, and let's grab some coal for this iron. There we go. Alright, so our steel pickaxe is something that I wanted for quite a while, because with this, we are finally able to break the big rocks on the farm. I am so happy we're finally able to do this. We're going to be able to clear up so much space on the farm now. I am definitely happy about this. Not only is it going to give us a lot of stone to be able to use for some of the projects we're going to be doing going forward, but it's just nice to clear up some space on the farm so they'll be able to dedicate the farm to a few different areas. Yeah, it'll be good. I am very, very happy that we got this pickaxe now. It's so good. Alright, I think that's taking care of most of the stones on the farm. With that taken care of, how about we make a few more paths? Just want this area to look nice and good. Just don't have to worry too much about collecting hay from these, since we already have plenty of hay in the silo. Okay, we're gonna go a little bit overtime here in this day, but that's okay. Just want to make this path look nice for the future. Okay, that is looking pretty good here. It's got a much nicer and wider path over here. Definitely has me excited for a few reasons. So now that we got this iron here, that's all the iron we're going to need for one of the projects I have planned. So let's check our supplies here. We have the hardwood that we need for one of my projects. And We have all the stone we're going to need. That's going to be good. It's going to be very good. Alright, let's take this and put you in the preserves. And is there anything else we can put in there? So we have this corn that we really don't need for anything. I guess we could pickle that. I'm trying to think about my options right now. Now, we don't really need to do that. Okay, it is getting late, and we're not going to have a lot of energy for the next day, so let's just head to bed right now. Able to take care of that pretty well. We made some pretty good money. Definitely going to be good to invest in our future projects. Alright. This is going to be a good day for a number of reasons. Going to be clear and sunny all day. So something I definitely recommend is looking out when it rains in the fall, as I'll be very important. Dear Hayden, I'd like to give my cows a special treat. They're such good girls, and hungry too. Could you bring me one bunch of amaranth? They love the stuff. Thanks, dearie. Marnie. So I got a new quest from Marnie. It's going to take a while for an amaranth to grow, but we'll definitely want to be on the lookout for that. So I'm actually glad that I didn't tear down the corn plants over here, because they could be nice for getting the corn we need for a certain thing I want taken care of. I actually want to get properly set up for this. Alright, so what I want is to set up just a little space where I can... I just want a little space on the farm where I can put various crops that I need for the Prime Produce quest. So yeah, just nice to have there as a little reminder for the things that we need. I actually did this in one of the other quests I needed taken care of, where I needed to harvest some... I needed to gather eggs in order to complete one of the bulletin board quests, and yeah, just having a chest set up to remind me about that was very important. And I also have a sign set up there to further remind me about what I need to do. It's very nice. I could definitely recommend placing some paths over here in order to block off this section of the farm from some of the plant life. It's not really important right now. We don't have to worry about that. Hey, girl. I forgot to grab the milk pail. Hang on. How the chicken's doing? Hanging in there. Okay. Let's get these converted into mayonnaise. Then we want to take some... Take that milk and... Why did I put the salmon in there? That was just weird. Thank you for your milk. This will make some very nice cheese for us. Alright, which one of these can we store for later? I think we can take the chub, then we'll put the salmon in there. Yep, that's a good idea. So we don't need to worry about any gifts at the moment. We got all these things we can focus on a bit later. Alright, so the main thing I want to take care of on this day, now that it's raining, is I want to do some more fishing. And there are some things that we can get in this season that requires it to rain. And with these specific fish, I definitely want to catch them now before this season is over. We have plenty of time for that, but still. So Rasmodius wants us to bring him an eel. That is also one of the fish that can be caught on this day. Alright, let's head over here, because I know this is one of the best places to fish from in this area. So we're going to be doing some fishing in this end of the river, and see what we're able to get. There's definitely some stuff we're going to be after, for a variety of reasons. One of the things we're going to have to get, we're going to have to wait until much later in the day in order to catch, as it's a nighttime fish. You can probably guess what it's going to be based on what we have already seen. But yeah, these are fish that we're going to need to complete the bundle. While we're taking care of these, how about some other things we can discuss? So earlier today, I went and pre-ordered my copy of Pokemon Legends Arceus at GameStop. So that is very nice. It's a game I've very much been looking forward to. So I'll definitely be excited when I'm picking that up next week. Man, hard to believe that game is coming out next Friday. Just feels only yesterday when the first trailer dropped and everyone was saying the game looked like crap. But now just, after so much time and just waiting for this game and all the little announcements that came up about it, just got me even more excited for what we're going to see. It's going to be so fun. And I'm very looking forward to seeing, like, all the new Pokemon and the new Hisuian forms we're going to get. It's going to be so good. It's definitely kind of an awkward moment for me right now because there's another very lengthy game that I'm playing at the moment. And Legends Arceus will definitely be cutting some time into playing through that game. But it's okay. So speaking of which, how about we go on to that topic? Because, yeah, I've been playing a lot more Xenoblade Chronicles 2 lately. So, since the last time, I have actually managed to get through the... Indal and Temperantia arc in the game. So I'm pretty much all set to head into the next area of the game, which is known as Tantal. But before then, I wanted to focus a bit on some side quests that can be done around this time in the game. And also see if I'm able to level up some of my blades to make sure they're ready for the fight ahead. Because we definitely got some important events coming up to us in the next chapter. And yeah, getting through a lot of the stuff lately has been very good. So my party is already in the early 50s now, and... Okay, that was one of the things I was looking to get, but I was actually looking for something else in this area. So yeah, that is one of the fish that we're able to catch here, which is the walleye. It is a freshwater fish that can only be caught when it is raining. And you'll definitely want to get these guys, as they are needed to complete the bundles. But there is another fish that can be caught when it is raining in the fall that I want to look out for. And since we got the request from Rasmodius, there is another fish that we'll want to watch out for, which is the eel. We already caught a few of those in the spring. So the eel goes away after summer starts, but once fall starts, they start becoming available again, so you're able to catch those whenever you need to. But only when it's raining and only at night. Man, this one thing I'm looking for is just not appearing. It's probably around here. I know it's one of the rarer fish you can catch in the river. Especially because they only show up when it is raining. I'm pretty sure they show up in the fall. Especially with the amount of research I tend to do in between stream sessions. So I am fairly certain that they should be showing up around here. It's a little strange right now. Alright, we're pretty low on energy, but it's not too big a deal. Ooh, this one is moving a lot. This is probably the one I'm looking for. Come on. Be the fish I need. There we go! Catfish! We could have caught this back in spring, but I was unable to. That is one of the fish we needed to complete the bundle we were looking for. So let us go and take care of that. Man, I am so happy now that we got this. So now we can complete the riverfish bundle, which gives us more bait, a lot more bait. Ooh, that's good. And for the nightfish bundle, by catching a walleye, we're able to obtain a small glow ring. Okay, that's really not the best. But with that, we completed all but one bundle for the fish tank. So all we need to catch is a sandfish. In order to get the sandfish, what you need to do is fully complete the vault, which means donating a lot of money to this. We don't need to worry about the fish tank for now. I really don't think the reward you get from it is really all that great at the start. But it's definitely something we can watch out for. I don't think I need to store any more of these, so we can go ahead and take care of those. Yep, we'll go sell them, and then how about we take care of another objective here? Yeah, I'm thinking since we need to get the eel for a mission, we could already focus on trying to get that. It's not like it's going to take too much effort for us to take care of. I've got all these fish. We don't need them for any specific recipes, so we'll just pop them in there. Alright, so thinking about the things we can do right now, with our current amount of money, there is something we could do if we go see our friend Robin. Okay, we don't have much time until the carpentry shop is closed. So we gotta be quick about this. We need at least 200 stone. Then we're going to need 5 pieces of green algae and 5 pieces of seaweed. And you need at least 5,000 gold. Alright, let's quickly move and try to get to the carpentry shop. I really don't think we have enough time for this, given how late it is. Yeah, I really don't think we're going to be able to do this. We can just barely make it. Come on. Stay open, Robin. Who? Okay. So the thing I want to invest in is a fish pond. This was something that we could have done much sooner, but I took a while to finally work up the motivation for it. This was something that was added in a later update, but it is definitely interesting. We can use it to raise the fish that we catch, and by taking care of them, not only are they able to populate more fish that we can then catch to sell for profit, but the fish can also lay eggs that can also be sold for profit or turned into various other items. And yep, this is something that I want to add to the farm. It will definitely be helpful for a variety of ways. Alright, so the place we want to put our fish is here. There's definitely quite a few areas where we could put you. Given like most of the position of where our farm buildings are at, I think we could put around this area. Something blocking off there, but luckily we can move this whenever we want, so the location really isn't too bad. Actually, over here would be good. So I'm thinking we could also put it like somewhere around here and then just move some of the fencing and stuff for later. Now we can worry about the placement of this a bit later. I just want this thing built right now. Yeah, we'll go set that up over there. Should be good. Okay, I'll start working on your new fish pond first thing tomorrow morning. That's definitely going to be a good investment for us. The fish pond will lead to some very, very good things for us. Hey, Linus, I see you there. Alright, so for the rest of this day, how about we head into the bath before we want to go capture an eel? We'll go recover energy, then we'll try to catch an eel for Resmodius. That seems like a good plan. Look at us in our little trunks. Nothing like a good soak in some hot water. It's been quite a while since I've been to a spa myself, but yeah, it just feels nice just being in this nice hot water, letting your cares melt away. It's a good feeling, you know? Alright. We got our energy back, so how about we go take care of that mission for the wizard? After all, we gotta help out our fellow magic users. Gotta stay on brand. And I'm definitely going to be happy when we get a few more advancements in the near future, because there's some stuff we're gonna be getting that will make moving around the map so much easier. Alright, now if I remember correctly, the specific thing we want to search for is... Yep, only in the rain during spring or fall. And we get it from the ocean, that's right. Alright, so let's head on down and catch us some eel. Definitely have plenty of time to get this done, but it's something we can only do when it's raining. So, yeah, we kind of have to take care of this tonight. Let's go over here by the deep water. While we're taking care of some fishing right now, want to say that there is something else we could potentially catch during this season, but I want to save going after that, as well as a few other things, once they become more relevant. What I mean by that is, after a certain point, we're going to be finding a book at the library that'll teach us a bit more about some of the fish we can catch in the world, and I'm gonna wait until we find that book before I begin making it a priority to catch certain fish. Okay? That just makes sense to me. I am just very particular about these kinds of things. It's just in my nature, especially with my Asperger's syndrome. Speaking of which, very lately I've been feeling like a lot of the people that I watch and do stuff, of how they tend to not really have the ability to retain certain information the way I can. Because I'm very particular about a lot of things, where even with something like this, I like to take notes and make sure that I am prep for a lot of stuff, and I tend to have a pretty good memory about holding on to certain details about a lot of things, but some people, especially some of the content creators that I tend to see these days, don't tend to hold that kind of information. It's probably just a very personal thing, like especially since I have Asperger's and all that. Yeah, just a little observation I've been making lately. So I didn't really talk about it there, but we caught an albacore. That is a fish that can appear starting in fall and can also show up in winter. So it's nice we're able to pick up one of those. So I would take this time to try to go to my farm and pick up something to give as a gift to the wizard while we're heading over to his place. But at the moment it's pretty late. I don't really want to waste time with that. I hope your tower's still open, dude. Oh good, he let me in. Yes, sir. I got the eel for you. Ah, the item I requested. Your work was satisfactory. Here's your compensation. I made some good money during that mission. Definitely grateful. Besides, we're able to get a lot of fishing done this day, which definitely makes me happy for a few reasons. So going forward in this month, I can also recommend going into the forest, as in this season, you're able to find a few things in there that are much more common this season compared to some of the others. So that's a nice way to make some extra finds. Alright, we got that area for a fish pond already. Definitely good to clear up some more space for some of the builds going forward. Alright, we need to take this trash back here. Put them in the garbage machine. Alright, then we'll go sell our fish. And we should be good for this day. Alright, we'll take out that ring, because we don't need that. Alright, that was a very successful day. And by reaching fishing level 9, we can now make a magnet lure and sea foam pudding. It's an interesting item there. Ooh boy, look at the amount of money we got there. We almost made back all the money that we spent on the fish pond. So definitely appreciate that. It's going to be cloudy tomorrow. Okay. If you're a farmer in a small town, it's likely you'll be invited to create a grains display at some point. Typically, a grains display consists of 9 items that best showcase your talents. Shoot for high quality, high value items, and make sure to have a variety as well. Fish, minerals, artisan goods, fruit, and vegetables are all good to have. So that is going to be a nice thing to talk about. So as I said before, fall is home to some of my favorite events that can happen in this game. One of the things that can happen in one of the holidays is going to be interesting for us, and that will require us to make use of some of the various items that we have acquired on the farm. So around this point, I could recommend holding on to quite a few things that will be of use to you. Like some high-quality vegetables, minerals, fish, and other such stuff that we're able to get. Wow, we found a beach warp totem right there. That is crazy. So you want to hold on to a few things for later. Alright, we can make use of our scythe right now. So I'm thinking one of the things I want to do going forward, try to upgrade our hoe to the next level. But we're pretty much done with fishing for the time being, so... yeah, I could see us spending some time in the mine now. Ooh, that is good. So we got ourselves some high-quality hay there. So I could definitely recommend to get this mission done really quickly is just harvest a lot of hay, since it grows faster compared to a lot of other crops you'd be able to obtain. That way you can get this mission done really quickly. Yeah, that's something I could definitely recommend. Alright, sell that hay there. And let's grab these fall seeds. Time to water the crops. Definitely gonna have a good harvest with these ones. I can definitely recommend investing in some more pumpkins. As I said before, they're one of the best crops you can grow this season. I could definitely recommend cranberries as well. They're one of the best things you can grow this season as well. And unlike pumpkins, you can actually grow with the cranberries and then have a good supply of them later, as they typically will not go away after one harvest. So that's another good use for those crops. Just as another thing that could serve as a warning to you, if you have any ancient fruit growing on the farm, this is going to be the last season where you'll be able to profit off of ancient fruit, at least until a certain thing unlocks. So, until then, make good use of your ancient fruit. Convert it into jam or some other stuff in order to increase its value, and you should be pretty good. Hey, chickies. Alright, Robin's working on that. Let's get some mayonnaise made. And then for the rest of this day, don't have anything else going on, so I'm thinking we could take a trip down into the mine and see what we're able to find. Oh, I just remembered, we have all these crops down here, and we don't have a scarecrow guarding them. What am I thinking? I don't suppose I have any scarecrows around here to make use out of. Nope. So definitely a big no-no for me to not be having a scarecrow set up. I need one piece of coal for that. There we go. Man, I should have done this like way sooner. What is wrong with me? Put you down there. Meanwhile, how many crows have you encountered there, buddy? 7 crows! He's really been putting in work, hasn't he? Alright. Yeah, for the next thing I want to do on this day, provided we don't have any interruptions from our villagers, let's see if we can head on down into the mine and see how far we can get. Because definitely one of my goals going forward, especially as we move later into this month, well, later into this period of the game, is I definitely want to get deeper into the mine so we can take care of a few things. Elliot's birthday is coming up. That's going to be interesting. Alright, we have no tasks to do at the moment, so how about we dedicate this day to doing some stuff down in the mines? Yeah, that should be very good. Hey, Demetrius. Oh, now that we have our pickaxe upgraded, yeah, we can now break open that rock and head over into this secret area.
I'd like to ano so sando do. Uhupa ranu otu olai.
So we found a dwarf here. We heard a bit about those from that book in the library. So I'm able to talk to this guy right now. So what I could recommend is trying to obtain all of the dwarf scrolls that you see here in the collections. As by getting all of those, we'll be able to do something in the future involving our buddy the dwarf. But for the time being, there's not much we can do with him. And as I said before, you are unable to get to that area until you have the steel pickaxe. So that's some more good incentive to get this thing upgraded. The main reason I wanted this upgrade is so I could break the rocks down here much more easily. Just look at how we're destroying this stone. So good. This area's infested. Ooh, we got a lot of enemies. And not a lot of stone, it seems. Ooh, there's a lot of enemies. Come here. Come here and die. Luckily, I brought some food with me, so we definitely heal ourselves if things get a bit too tricky for us. So as for some other stuff to talk about, so I've heard recently about a certain acquisition that has happened in the gaming world. I figure I might as well talk about it, considering that I'm playing a game myself. But yeah, it would appear that Microsoft has purchased Blizzard Activision, which is an interesting thing for bright reasons. So guy dropped some crystal fruit, that's interesting. But yeah, that is an interesting development for the gaming world, it seems. For a variety of reasons, like between Blizzard and Activision, that gives Microsoft quite a few IPs that they now control, and don't know too much how to feel about that, since one of those groups owns 2 franchises that I actually like quite a bit, being the Crash Bandicoot and the Spyro games. So really don't know how I feel a whole lot about that. There's some other franchises that are owned by Blizzard Activision as well, like Diablo and Overwatch, that I don't really care for myself, but sure, those games have their fans they can be excited about. It's interesting how Microsoft has been making these deals to acquire these video game companies. Like, I know they purchased Bethesda a couple years ago, which was the group responsible for the Elder Scrolls games. So that was also quite an interesting development. It's quite interesting to see Microsoft going through all these deals and building up more of just more companies that they can invest in. We'll have to see how things go, especially because I've heard a lot of accusations regarding some of the people in Blizzard Activision, and they're not very good. Not very good indeed. But hey, I try to make this an area where we mainly focus on being positive, so I'm not going to bring that topic up any further. So speaking of positivity, last night I was watching a few people play a certain game that was actually awarded Game of the Year in 2021. That being It Takes Two. Which, quite an interesting game. It's a cooperative game where two people try to get through the game together. And obviously it has a heavy focus on cooperation, where the two players have to be in sync with a lot of different tasks in order to progress through the game, which is definitely very cool to have games with that kind of multiplayer focus, where two people have to be in sync or else they're not going to get anywhere. And yeah, that stream was quite interesting for a few reasons. One being that the actual streamers that I was watching were some people that I follow on Twitter, specifically some people that dabble in some artwork of the more mature variety. And at this point, I'm really not too shy about discussing that kind of thing. Whatever, we all have our interests, you know. But yeah, they were streaming that game and having a good time with it, all things considered. Especially joking around a bit about some certain things. But it was also quite interesting watching that stream because of the overall subject matter of the game. Because the game focuses on a couple that is going through a separation and they're looking to get divorced, and their daughter is really broken up about the fact that her parents are splitting up. And a great deal of the game is those two parents trying to try to work together in order to get back in their original bodies so that they can move on with their lives. Ooh, we got a master slingshot. Definitely want to talk about this very soon, but we'll say that for a little bit. But yeah, just interesting to see that game in action and its story, considering that kind of my history and my family. For those that don't know, my parents have been separated and divorced for pretty much most of my life, and it was definitely something that I had a lot of time to adjust to, but overall, I don't know, part of me still feels kind of weird about the thing. Like, obviously I didn't have a lot of say in whether or not my parents would be together, but ultimately, I am just fine with the way that my life is, and the current position and that my family has been in. Like, I'm still really close to my mom. I really appreciate everything that she has done for me and my brothers. I haven't talked with my father in God knows how long, and ultimately, I'm quite happy that we have actually been apart for so long, because I really don't know if, after all this time, I would really like to get to know this man, and given how much I have grown and how I am these days. But at the same time, I feel like being closer to my father would have been good a lot early on, as would have given me a bit more time to, I don't know, would have given me a bit more opportunities just to have a have a strong male figure in my life who would be able to help me out through a lot of things, a lot of questions about myself and other things in my life. But ultimately, I'm quite satisfied that I had to go through all these things myself and try to figure myself out in this whole situation. I was feeling just really, I don't know, I was thinking a lot about this while I was watching that stream of It Takes Two, because it's a game that goes into some pretty heavy subject matter, and I'm definitely very happy to see a game tackle these kind of issues. I know this got very heavy there, but yeah, it's just quite the crazy world we live in, isn't it? Alright, I made it back here, and I didn't really mention it because we were dealing with all that heavy discussion, but we fought some skeletons in that section of the mine. Once you get to level 70, you can encounter skeletons, and they can drop a few things, mainly bone fragments, which you'll definitely want to sell. Well, you want to keep a hold of those, because they can be useful for something coming up. Found some Omni Geodes. We'll definitely want to take those to our man, Clint. Another thing we found was the Master Slingshot. Let's probably go a bit more into this, but the Slingshot is a pretty unique weapon, so we can use that to fire stones at enemies as an attack. It's a good way to attack enemies from a distance. Personally, I don't really use the Slingshot hole that much, but in this playthrough, I'm going to try to use the Slingshot a lot more because I feel like it's going to be very useful in the future, especially with some of the encounters we're going to be doing. So we'll definitely want to hold on to that. Alright, we'll store some of those for later. It's definitely be good to have a good supply of root splatter. And we got the Omni Geodes that we need to give to Clint. Alright, let's go to bed for the night and see what we're going to be doing next. So pretty sure by this point, Robin should be done the fish pond. This gives us room to decide on what we're going to be doing. We're going to need some more money for the next thing I want to focus on. Ooh, looks like a storm is approaching. Since we got a storm coming up, I'm thinking I want to invest in another lightning rod. Let's definitely want to grab some iron and get these turned into bars. Alright, so what do I need for the iron again? The lightning rod. Iron bar, refined quartz, and bat wings. Alright, we'll get that taken care of. Definitely good to have a few of these, as there's going to be a point going forward where we are definitely going to need some lightning rods. It's got some wild honey from our bees there. It's pretty good, but in the future, we're going to be able to acquire some better quality honey, especially because we got the fairy roses growing. So yeah, we'll definitely want to remember that for later. Let's take care of our crops now. I'm definitely happy that I got our scarecrows set up, because they're going to do wonders at keeping our plants safe. But now we can get a harvest on one of our new crops, bok choy. These are one of the cheaper plants to be grown this season, and they also take the least amount of time out of most of the exclusive fall crops. So I can recommend growing a lot of these. They take very little time to grow, they can be definitely worth your time. Might actually store one of those for later. Alright, that's all the seeds planted. Oh, and that gold bok choy we'll want to take in here. Store that for later. And how about we take the other bok choy and want to store that in the kitchen, just so we have that taken care of. Yeah, just keeping one of those for later would be nice. Again, this is always so full. I guess we'll take the oyster. Don't really know if we're gonna need oysters for any recipes, but in the future I could definitely see you needing to save those for later. Some of the other things in here we could probably dispose of for later. Now we don't have to worry too much about that. Let's actually look at some of the recipes we can make. So the salmon dinner is going to require some amaranth and kale. We don't have any kale right now, so we're not going to be able to do that. Some of the other stuff we can do. The survival burger, we will be able to get the eggplants for those very soon, so I could definitely recommend catching a bunch of those. The seafoam pudding, which is a recipe we got much earlier this session, it's going to require some things we're unable to get right now, but you'll want to remember that for later. So yeah, definitely recommend getting the salmon and the amaranth for those recipes. Alright, let's go check on our animals. Then we can go take a look at our brand new fish pond. Look at that. Fish can be placed into this pond. Yes, they can. I'm very much looking forward to that. Especially with one fish in particular. There's one that I highly recommend catching for something coming up, and we'll actually be able to take care of that something fairly soon. Alright, you two, give me your eggs. Alright, there you go. You guys can have some space to frolic. Should definitely invest in the grass start pretty soon, because that's going to be useful. Alright, so we'll get these Omni Geodes cracked open. Are there any other Geodes we could take around here? No, we don't have any other Geodes. Okay. That's good. And we remember to water these, right? Yeah, they're good. Alright, that's everything we need to take care of around here. Besides the mushrooms, but we can pick those up whenever. So, let's see what's going on around town. So given how late we are into this stream, we could probably do this day and maybe one more day, depending on what we have available here. Okay, it is Elliot's birthday now, and Clint wants us to go get some copper ore for him. Yeah, we could go take care of that. Definitely it'd be nice to gather some stone for some of our future projects. Okay, so we got Elliot's birthday here. Just want to quickly check what we're going to need for him. Yeah, Elliot is definitely one of the more elusive characters when it comes to the items he likes. He does like a few different things, but most of them are hard to come by, so you're definitely gonna have to put the effort in if you want to romance this guy. Really, we got clay from an Omni Geode, and we got some Celestine, which we can donate to the museum. I'm grateful for that, but still, come on. It's not really the best. Since those two are doing some studying today. It's not really where I was aiming for that one, but sure. Yeah, Elliot is definitely one of the harder characters to want to get his bundle. I mean, to get his birthday gifts for. Ooh, found a library book. Probably the easiest thing you'd be able to give him around this time would be lobsters, which can be obtained from crab pots in the ocean. I'm probably going to have to check my fridge and see if we have any lobsters in storage. Because otherwise, I don't think we're going to be able to give him a gift besides one of the just universal like items. Alright, so we'll go check in our inventory. Hi, Sam. A little bit later, I want to try and invest in another cow, because having some more milk would be nice. So among some of the other things we could get to Elliot, if you had the foresight to invest in a pomegranate sapling and have it fully grown by this time, that would also be a very good gift for him, because pomegranates are one of his favorite items. But besides the other usual stuff, there's not too much that he likes. Yeah, some of the things are recipes that we don't have available, or things that we cannot obtain until just much later. Oh, we do have a lobster. We have a lobster we can give him. That's good. Alright, before we take care of that... Okay, it's not here. I think I got one somewhere around here. Okay. I thought for sure I had one of these in storage. I thought for sure I had one of these saved for later. Just give me a second. I want to check something. Okay, I am a little disappointed because there was something I could have obtained that is really, really good, but it requires a very specific fish, and unfortunately, I did not want to have one saved for this. And that frustrates me for a number of reasons. Especially because I know I caught and saved some of these in one of my previous Stardew Valley files that I was playing earlier this month. Jeez. very least, how about I take this salmon that we caught and put you in the fish pond? Just because we have nothing else that we can really add in there. Yeah, we'll just throw you in there. And by checking the fish pond, it will tell you the population of the fish in the pond. Everything's okay. You can hit that to empty the pond if you want, or you can change the appearance of the pond just to affect how it looks in the exterior. Kind of like that one there. But yeah, just able to check on the fish in there. Eventually, it will give you a notification about some certain things, especially when it comes to changing the population of the fish in there, among other things. But for the time being, we don't have to worry about that. What we do need to worry about is giving Elliot his birthday gift before he ends up in an area where we can't talk to him. So definitely want to take care of that. Store those mushrooms and sell these ones. Alright, let's go see Elliot. There's a few areas where he can tend to show up. Hoping we are able to find him before he goes somewhere we can't follow. Alright, I only know of a few places where he can show up. He tends to come here by the river, or he'll go to the beach or the library. Sometimes he can show up at the Stardrop Inn. In fact, I think this might be one of the few days where he can show up there. So it'd be nice to check after I've looked at some of the other areas he can be. Oh yeah, he also tends to visit Pierre's shop. So we could check there in a little bit. Just want to make sure he's not in one of these areas. Yeah, we still can't access his house because that's not... Just don't have a good relation with you. Okay, I saw a door opening and figured something. There he is, there he is! Happy birthday, dude! A birthday gift? That's very kind of you. I love it! My legs are stiff from sitting on my writing desk all morning. Yeah, I definitely feel you there, buddy. Oh, that's so good. Oh yeah, Clint wanted us to do a mission. So how about we go take care of that? This one's fairly simple. All we have to do is collect some copper ore. This is just a nice opportunity to check things out in the mine. Although we're actually going to be heading back to one of the earlier sections of the mine, which isn't too bad. Also be a good chance to stock up on some more bug meat, which can be useful going forward. Okay, given how much time we have left in this stream, I'm probably going to call it after this day. Just, I don't want to have things lasting more than a certain amount of time for these stream sessions. And I definitely feel like 2 hours is usually my limit for these kind of things. So while we're here, how about we show off our new slingshot that we got? The Master Slingshot. As I said before, it uses... It uses stones as ammunition. That was kind of awkward. And yeah, you can use it to attack enemies from long distance. Could be useful for a couple of encounters. For me personally, I don't tend to use the slingshot just because I prefer my weapons. And also some of the enemies you can usually just take out with whatever melee weapon you have just very easily without needing to use the slingshot. And that gets into another thing about the slingshot, and that's the ammunition it takes. So the slingshot is fueled by stone. So any stone that you harvest down here can be used to feed the slingshot, which can be helpful. There's ammunition just readily available down here. But at the same time, I kind of wish that it used a different kind of ammunition that was something that you could specifically purchase at the Adventures Guild and to stock up on like different kinds of ammunition that could have different effects on enemies, like maybe an explosive ammunition or something. But no, you're just using regular stones to fuel the slingshot, and I don't know, that just doesn't really sit right with me. I feel like they could have done a lot more with it. Which, again, leads into what I have often said about this game's combat not being the greatest. Like, obviously the combat isn't the focus of this game. The main focus is in the farming and building your relations with the community. But still, I wish there was a bit more depth to it. Some nice juicy cave carrots we're going to use for recipes. So we're definitely doing good on our copper requirements. It's another one of those missions that could be benefit from that one skill you can obtain from mining that gives you more ore from deposits. But I really don't need it, especially at this point. We're able to obtain ore super easily. Oh, hello there, Dougie. It'd be nice if I just killed a random Dougie and got another diamond like I did that one time. That was awesome. I really should have clipped that. Hey, buddy, could you just leave me alone? But you, leave me alone too. It's also good to revisit the lower floors because I believe down here you can obtain some of the dwarf scrolls that I recommend getting in order to be able to interact with the dwarf and actually understand what he's saying. Because there's a lot more we can do with that guy that we are unable to do until we obtain the other dwarf scrolls. Alright, we've obtained all the copper ore we need. So we'll go head down to the Star Drop Inn in just a bit. Ooh, we got some aquamarine. We could give some of those a gift to Emily. Try to boost our relationship with her a bit more. Also, the current point in the mine we're at, so managed to get to floor 70. I highly recommend advancing a lot further, as some of the later floors we can get to have some very good stuff we can get. Definitely recommend trying to get a bit further, especially if you're looking to fill in a few more slots at the community center. Alright, Stardrop Saloon is closed right now. So let's head on back to the farm, and we will close things off for this session. This went pretty well, all things considered. We didn't have too many frame rate issues this time, which I'm definitely grateful for. It's definitely been a blessing to have this much luck with our streams in terms of that. Yeah, we are very late into this. We'll definitely want to get this taken care of. Let's convert all that bug meat into bait. Then let's put those mixed seeds away. Set those up a bit later. So we got some geodes that we can get converted for next time. This cave carrot we can keep. Blackberries. We'll definitely be obtaining some more blackberries, so we don't need to worry about stockpiling those. And we already got plenty of crab. Let's deposit these cave carrots for later. Okay, I think that is going to do it. Okay, so for our first session in the season of fall, that went very well. We already got some nice improvements to the farm with the pond set up, although we didn't get the actual fish that I really want to invest with the fish pond, but we got a lot of our crops growing. Excuse me. We got a lot of crops growing, and things on the farm are steadily getting a bit better. So yeah, that is going to be where we are calling things for this session. So next time on Stardew Valley, we're going to see what else we are able to accomplish in the season of fall, and see if we can get some more buildings put up around the farm. That will make things a bit more convenient for us to get around. Until next time, have a great day and take care.